Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back with another word. Listen, we have 2 more days. We are on day 6. Like, we are surviving this thing. We are really surviving this. And I want to come, this word is not really going to be long, but I wanted to come on here and say some really important things and some really encouraging words for your next step in your next season, in your next chapter, with your next life. you know, so I want to keep you afloat. And I only have 2 scriptures today that I want to kind of back up with the word that I have. But I think it's important that we recognize where we are right now and what we're stepping into so we don't lose sight, because it's easy to come off of our fast and just go back into the things that we have done before. But God is telling me to preach about, you can't go back. you can't go back to your old life. You can't go back to those old habits. You can't go back to your old friends. You can't go back to supporting restaurants that we know are evil and trying to kill us. We cannot go back to the things that we have been saved from. Mm. And because I know it's easy, again, it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm finished my fast. I'm hungry. I want some Chick-fil-A. I've waited 7 days for this. And it's like, no, you can, but would it be smart? Over these 7 days of watching all of my videos, you have learned so much. Do not give up on your journey. Like, you have to see that over these 7 days, God has been exposing you to a whole new way of being, to a whole new life. And if you give up and you go back, you lose all of that knowledge. Mm. If you give up and you go back, you lose all of your knowledge. Do not waste your knowledge on wanting to eat, wanting to put yourself in circumstances. Listen, for these 7 days, you have learned how to pray. You have learned how to become a prayer warrior. You have learned how to fight the schemes of the enemy. You have learned how to pray for your enemies. You have learned so much. You're not the same. You're not the same. You cannot just go back into living your old life. And I think this is what the mistake that people make. So let me just read this scripture. We have Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 16. Choosing life will result in peace and prosperity. Turning away from God will result in death and adversity. Just in case there was somebody thinking, okay, I isolated from my cousins. I can drink now. I can smoke now. No. You can't. You can't just go back to doing all the things. You didn't do this for nothing. The work of all of this was not for nothing. It was for a reason. It was for a great reason. You have to recognize the path God has you on. And it's different, and you have to embrace it. You have to embrace where you're now going, who you're now becoming, and allow Him to replace the things and the people that you felt like you have lost over your time of fasting. Choose life, not death. Choose life. Life is in God. Life is following God. Life is allowing Him. Like, I fought this fast for so long. I'm like, man, I know I'm supposed to be fasting, but I can't stop eating. I can't put the chips down. I can't do this. And then when I got the word of, oh, but the blessings are being released, you have to fast. I'm like, all right, I got to put on my big girl panties, and I have to do this. And it's not really just for the blessing. It was because I felt like every time I didn't complete my fast, I was being disobedient to God. and it made me cry. And I was like, man, I don't want to be disobedient. I don't want to feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be called to do. And again, this whole time I've been fighting it, and now I have come into a new sense of identity. I have come into a new perspective of where I want my food journey and my new found love of inspiration to be. So it's like the very thing that we keep fighting is the very thing that we actually need to complete in order for us to see the new path. For in order for us to see the light. You cannot go back. Day 6. Today is the day you should be preparing. You should be looking at different recipes that you want to incorporate in your diet. A lot of y'all have been one of your prayers, I want to lose weight. And doing this fast will help you lose weight, and not only just lose weight, but it'll help you realize this is everything that you needed to start your weight loss journey. You've just been fighting it. You've just been fighting it the whole time. So again, it's day 6. We should be preparing for the transformation to transfer over into that new life, into that new sense of being, into our new perspective. Okay, like today, I'm going to go to the store and get all the things that I need to meal prep for my 7 to 14 day raw vegan, because God has put it in my heart like, okay, now that you have fasted, I'm going to give you a new identity with your food journey. I want you to go raw vegan. I want you to eat vegan food so you can see what it feels like for a while to just eat life. Some of us are asking for our I'm sorry. I always mess up with my words. Some of us are asking for our skin to be clear. And we don't know that the foods that we're putting in our body is causing us to have all of these bumps and all of these outbreaks on our face. So once you stop fighting what it is that you're actually supposed to be doing, then only will you see the results that you've been seeking. I'm like, man, I want to be different. I want to glow. I want to feel good. And he's like, this is the way. Go raw vegan. This is the path that I've been trying to show you. So after I do raw vegan, I had another vision that, okay, I'm going to be raw vegan for 2 days, and then I'm going to do plant-based for 2 days where I can cook my food. And then 3 days, I'm going to fast and take herbs and juice. So I'm like, okay, that's good. That works for me. So now is the time to be realizing what works for you, what works for your life, what works for your schedule. You need to be going to the grocery store, getting containers where you can meal prep. You need to go in the store and you need to fill up your cabinets with foods that are life. Fill up your refrigerator with foods that are life so you can get ready to meal prep for tomorrow. So once you complete tomorrow, and then on kind of like on day 8, you can start eating again and eating life. Let's go into this scripture. I don't even know where this came from. So it says, if they choose to follow God and worship him as their Lord and Savior, they choose life. God will give you the vision for your next steps. God will give you the thought for your next steps. God will give you the dream for your next steps, for your new life, for you to become this new person. You cannot go back. We cannot go backwards. We have to continue to move forward. You fasted and you prayed and you isolated yourself. And again, I can't stress this enough. You've learned so much over these 7 days. If you have watched my videos for 7 consistent days and you have fast, you have learned a lot. You have learned scriptures. You have learned prayers. You have learned that certain food industries are killing us. The foods is toxic. It's not good for our body, for our mind. It's not good for our children. So now you got to start taking those next steps. You got to start taking that knowledge and you got to take off with it. That's the only way forward. You got to take off with it, because if you stay where you at, again, can't stress this enough either. If you stay where you are, you're going to lose all your knowledge. And then you're going to have to start over, which delays your process, which delays your blessing, which delays who you are trying to become. You do not have the time to go backwards. You have to take off. You have to keep moving forward. You have to see this thing through. You have to trust God. You have to trust yourself, and you have to be confident. Today I decided, okay, I've seen a lot of things on Pinterest, just throwing that out there, on YouTube for like dressings, homemade dressings and just different recipes. And listen, my mouth is so watery for these things because they look so good. I'm like, okay, I never thought about zucchini noodles and putting dressing on top of them with the tomatoes and stuff. I never thought about any of those things. So now that I know, this is what I'm choosing. I'm not choosing to go back and eating the way that I used to eat. I can't afford to. Honestly, I cannot afford to keep putting things in my body that is going to jeopardize my health, that is going to jeopardize my mind, that is going to allow the enemy to come in and plant self-sabotaging thoughts. I can't afford to live like that no more. And neither can you if you have completed these 7 days. You can't. You have to realize that you can't go back. You can't. If I knew how to say it in Spanish, I would say it in Spanish, but you can't go back. You can't. So again, meal prepping, planning, watching a bunch of videos to start seeing the different type of foods, because we have a lot of people that think on a very ignorant state when it comes to plant-based and vegan. Oh, you eating rabbit food, and okay, but I'm eating rabbit food in your eyes, and you're eating food and you don't even know where it comes from or how long this has been deceased. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't know when we go into the grocery stores and we buy chickens and stuff, we don't know how long that chicken been deceased. Also, I think I put this in one of my videos, but when you look at the meat, you can start telling that some of these animals have been abused. And everything that we consume that has been abused, we will feel the same thing, because just like you have a purpose on earth, so does an animal. And you're not doing this just for the animal. You're doing it because you see it all. You see the meaning in it all. You see the meaning in the animals living and not being slaughtered. You see the meaning in not supporting these companies. You see the meaning in wanting to live a more healthier, long life. You see the meaning in wanting to put your children on to new, like, some of our journeys are different. Some of us have desires to have plant-based babies. We want to raise our children different from how we were raised. So you have to see it through. You have to go through the journey. You have to go through the path, because what you desire is not going to come unless you make the sacrifice to go through the wilderness to get there. I know what I want to be. I know how I want to raise my children, but I have to go through the journey in order to see, in order to be able to give them that type of life. If not, I'm going to be in and out. I'm going to be inconsistent. I'm not going to be fruitful with what it is that I'm trying to harvest. So, can't go back. That's all I keep hearing God say. That is planted in my mind. You can't go back. And I'm telling myself the same thing. I can't go back, and get excited that you can't go back. That's a good thing. You're not going back to old friends. You're not going back to old places. You're not going back to eating those same foods that's causing you to gain weight, causing you to have outbreaks on your face, that's causing you to get cancer and all of this other crazy stuff and have blood pressure. You can't go back. You won't go back. So get excited and get prepared. So this is what we're transforming into a new life. So get prepared. Buy the things that you need to buy. Go buy new toys, new gadgets for the kitchen so you can start your new journey. Go to the store and go look at new stuff. Look at other food options, because oftentimes we skip over the produce and we go right into the bakery. And as you can see, it's a setup. It's a setup that the bakery is right beside the produce. And thank you, Holy Spirit. There are a lot of people that think that, oh, you can do this in moderation. I never liked the word moderation, ever. Oh, you got to have a balance. You can do this in moderation. What's in moderation kills us. You do not have to have a balance of smoking weed this day, then not smoking weed that day. You do not have a balance. You do not have to have a balance of that. You can stop. That's not I smoke within moderation, or I drink occasionally, or I'm a social drinker because that's in moderation. No, when I'm out with people, I tell them straight up, I don't drink. I'm not going to drink to socialize. If I have to drink to socialize, you're not the type of people that I need to be around. If I have to smoke to socialize, you're not the type of people that I need in my life. So stop looking at, we got to do things in moderation. The moderation word is really killing you today. It really is. And you have to look at life as whole and the things that God have put on this earth. And I've even had some people try to argue with me and say, oh, but you're not supposed to eat the plants. The plants don't want to die. I'm just like, the plants are here for us. This is what God created. God created the animals because the animals do serve their own purpose. Like I said in one of my videos, shrimps are bottom feeders. They clean the ocean. They clean the ocean. So we need them. So everybody keep eating up all the shrimps. Who is going to clean the ocean? So it's just things like that. Like everything has its purpose. Just like you have your purpose, there are animals, plants, and insects that serve their purpose. And we were told to choose life. And there are other people that can argue, oh, but our ancestors did this, or this is what our ancestors were doing. Again, you cannot go back, because what your ancestors was doing years and years and years ago is not the same as today. It's not. The soil is even different. The food is completely different. When you see something that this is, stay away, stay alert. Keep praying for alertness. Keep praying for discernment. Keep praying for increase in wisdom when it comes to the food industry. Ask God to expose to you the food industry. When you see an item has been out of stock for a very, very long time, they are upping the chemicals in that, and they're going to bring it back once they have found new chemicals and new ways to make us want to be addicted to it. Seriously, Oh, we when just like McDonald's, certain seasons they have the McRib. Every season, the McRib, there's new ingredients being added to it. So don't just thinking you're getting the same McRib from when your ancestors was eating it, if they even ate that crap. No, you're getting a whole different chemical. You're getting the whole, because that's all it is, just a chemical. It's not food, it's a chemical. You cannot do what your ancestors did. And you got to realize when you're trying to do something that a person has done that has passed away and you're trying to relive that, that's demonic intelligence. That's demonic influence. Anytime you try to bring something back to life that is passed away, it's going to come back demonic. It's going to come back a demon. It's never going to be in its true form. It's never going to be in this true state. So stop trying to relive the past and realize that you got to keep moving forward. Take off. This is your time to shine. Take off. What are we so afraid of? Take off. Like soon as I'm done this video, I'm telling you, I'm going to the store and I'm going to do my dressings today. And I'm proudly going to embrace this journey that God has put me on. I am, because I feel so excited that I'm learning how to make my own hairsprays, my own hair oils, my own dressings, and everything is going. I'm not going to meal prep today. I'm going to meal prep tomorrow, because if I even attempt to meal prep anything today, I don't know if it's going to go good, but I would definitely make some dressings and kind of play around with the dressings and see how that will go. But tomorrow is going to be my meal prep day, when I'm doing like my quinoa salads and stuff and storing that in, and doing my zucchini salads and all of that stuff. So today I'm just going to take the time to kind of just go to the store and just get the things that I need. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Go get the things that you need. And then tomorrow you start meal prepping those things. You start getting yourself prepared to transfer over to your new life. Do not get stuck, and do not let people make you believe that you need to have this balance of eating unhealthy. You need to have this balance of smoking when you're socializing with people. If they can accept who you are as your sober self, then they don't need to be in your presence. If they can't accept that you don't drink no more, then you need to let them go. Anybody that tries to influence me to do anything that I do not want to do, whether that's sex, whether that's smoking, drinking, I don't care what it is, it's a no, and you're cut off, because you're not going to stop my process, and you're not going to stunt my growth. And sometimes you don't understand that people are being used in ways that they don't even know. That's why I'm saying you have learned so much over these 7 days. You cannot go back. I can't stress it enough. You just can't go back. That's all I heard God saying to me. You cannot go back, Tanya. You cannot go back. And I don't want to go back. There's no need. There's no desire to go back. Now, of course, you're going to crave certain things that you really, really like. And if that's the case, give yourself more time to fast. Although you may not want to, give yourself a few more days. Give yourself 3 more. Give yourself the time. Allow yourself the time. It's not going to slow down your blessing. It's going to enhance it, because you recognize areas where you're still weak, and you're showing God that you're still working on it. It's not going to stop your blessing. Okay. All right. So that's the word for today. I really appreciate you guys like tapping in, getting this knowledge, getting these words, learning these scriptures, praying for yourself, your children, your future, all of that. Like it's good. Listen, you're about to take over the world, and you're about to take off. Have confidence in yourself. You're about to take off. God has not put you in a position to watch me for 7 days to just go back and being your old self. He wouldn't do that, because he's using me as a vessel to make sure that I lead more people into his kingdom. Okay? All right. So again, I'm about to go to the store. I'm about to make me some dressings. Continue to follow my YouTube so that way I'm going to start posting like my vegan journey and just some of the things that I'm going to be making over my 7 to 14 day um, raw vegan. So yeah, tune in so you can see the different type of foods that I'm going to be making and the different type of options that you have, because it doesn't have to be, you don't have to make it so boring. Oh, that's a rabbit food. No, it's more than rabbit food. It's life. We don't have to make it so boring. It doesn't have to feel so dull. And it just, we can enjoy the journey that we're on. So embrace where you are and definitely get excited for where you're going. You can't go back. I love you. Have a good day and see you tomorrow for our last and final word.